To start off our best new music of 2025, let's talk about the worst purchase of new music we made in 2025. What is the worst album of new music in 2025 that you spent your hard-earned money on?
And I think I win this because you had to listen to this, and it's bad. It's really bad. Do anybody remember Tiffany? From the 80s?
Yep.
You know, she did that.
Oh, this was Tiffany. I only heard the clip. I didn't actually hear who was.
It was Tiffany. She re-released I Think We're Alone Now. And then also, this is technically not a full album. This is a just a EP. It's got the remix, the new version of I Think We're Alone Now, and then a new song that's going to be on her new album, which is even worse than I Think We're Alone Now, which you'll hear in a moment, unfortunately.
Children beings, that's what they say when we're together. I watch how you play. They don't understand, and so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. Then you put your arms around me and we tumble to the ground, and then we say, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Yeah. So the only cool thing is on the
that's cool though. Okay, well,
yeah,
that's cool.
That is kind of cool. The backside has that on it, and then it's just this. But yeah, this is really, really bad. And I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but I have a lot. Besides, it's horrible. She should have never re-recorded this. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. The record is warped for one.
No.
It's warped pretty bad. I'm surprised it plays it's warped. Second of all, and I don't even know if this is going to show up on camera or not because it's that bad, but it had a insert that was autographed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the autograph?
No.
Yeah. It's right there, but the color pen she wrote it in bleeds into her hair, and you can't even read the autograph.
Aww.
I'm trying to see if I can get it.
That's too bad.
There, I can kind of.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you can see it.
See it?
Yep. Yeah, there you see it. Yep.
Why didn't you sign it up higher? Why didn't you use a different color pen?
Well, I mean, to be fair though, how many autographs has Tiffany had to sign over the years?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, even if it has
I'm
maybe
just
perhaps been a little bit since she's been in the public spotlight.
I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm just like, good grief. And then the other thing, like, I paid like $35 for like 2 songs, which I almost didn't even buy when I found out it was $35, but it was like a limited release thing. And I'm like, sure, okay, whatever.
We're only doing clips. We're only doing clips. And it's honestly not your fault. It's mine, because I could not make you sit through the entire 5-minute plus of this song from Lord's new CD, which came out in 2025 and is truly terrible. The lyrics are pretty awful for the most part. Oftentimes a case of way TMI. And the music itself, although there's some good stuff and good singing, there is talent involved there, so I don't want to be too harsh about it. It was good enough for me to purchase for a reason I'll explain in just a second. But there was this thing where, like, the lyrics and the music tend to be very disconnected from the drums, which are largely non-existent except for when they do kick in. It's very kind of ethereal and floats above the rest of the music. And so the whole kind of album ends up having this sort of formless nothingness to it.
There's a heat in the pavement, my mercury's raising. Don't know if it's love or if it's ovulation. When you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The mist from the fountain is kissing my neck. The liquid crystal is in my grip. Anyone with a snake tongue, I'll show them the chambers of mine. heart. Now I know you don't deal much in love and affection, but I really do think there could be a connection. I burn and I sing and I scheme and I dance. Some days I'm a woman, some days I'm a man. Oh, I might have been born again. I'm ready to feel like I don't have the answers.
The reason I purchased it is really the other reason it's probably my worst purchase of the year, which is that it is a CD that doesn't play in a good, solid 50+% of all CD players manufactured both in the past, now, and in the future.
I was going to ask if you had that problem, because there was a lot of people complaining about that. It's like, hey, the CD will not play.
It essentially, now I'm no CD technology expert, but my shorthand is it played fine in the PlayStations, the ones that had CD support, and it plays fine in your computer. And so my theory is that it basically needs a data disk laser in order to...
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is or why that matters, but that's what I think the common denominator, at least in this household, of why this works in some CDs.
Yeah, that would
why
make
it
sense.
Doesn't. So let's actually talk a little bit about the best new music then of 2025, because I don't know what it is, if you would agree, but oftentimes when things in the world are in crisis, when we're going through cultural changes and deep shifts in attitudes about things and things like that, music is often reactive to all of that. And I think we saw a lot of that here in 2025. Shorthand to say, sometimes it feels like when the world's on fire, music is at its best. Does it not?
I agree. No, I agree 100%. And this year was
it's been
a
incredible.
really good year for music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it has.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't buy a ton of new music these days, just because at this stage of my life, I've got so much music to explore, both forwards and backwards and everything else, that it just, you can't keep up with everything, but you do the best you can with that. This year, though, however, I purchased more new music than I have purchased really in most years of my life. It's right up there with, I bought about as many albums this year as I did maybe my first year in college, and some of the other key years of my life, I 2016 for whatever reason felt like a really big year for me. We had John Carpenter doing a whole bunch of things and just a whole ton of really good albums that year as well. And so there's been a few years where I've rivaled, say, 10 albums of new music, but not many. And if I want to count, like we were saying earlier, reissues, things from older bands that are having their first release of maybe a live concert or something like that, then I got well over a dozen albums in 2025 that I could pick from for my top 10. So instead, I thought, let's just do our top 10 of best new music of 2025, and we're going to play the full songs of our top 5. What else should we say before we start going through this list? I don't know what your picks are, and you don't know what my picks are. And we did this deliberately.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to have one crossover.
I think we may have a couple. We'll see. I think. We'll see. This one got a pretty extensive conversation on the show in 2025 here. Not my favorite album of the year by a long shot. Just squeaked into the top 10. But really squeaked into the top 10 because I had a fun enough time at their concert, seeing them perform these songs live. Their combo with Bloodywood and Spirit Box as separate tracks, and this Tom Morello solo in it. A couple of the solo baby metal tracks that are non-collabs on this album I thought are particularly good as well. So it just squeaks into my top 10 there, and also squeaked into my vinyl collection top 10 because it's got that weird Citrine tour exclusive.
It's got that,
vinyl, which is just kind of a neat thing to have.
That actually would have been my number 11, I think. It didn't quite make my top 10, but it was close. My number 10, though, is going to be, believe it or not, a hair metal band released a new album this year.
Yeah.
And it's a band I know that you do not like. So you're going to give me crap for this. I know you're going to give me crap. But my number 10 of the year is LA Guns and their Leopard Skin album. And I know you were not an LA Guns fan because we had this conversation when we did the hair metal episode. But yeah, it's on like a gold colored. But yeah, this is like classic LA Guns. This is like cocked and loaded era LA Guns. And I saw them this summer actually with Tom Kiefer, the Tom Kiefer band.
That's cool.
Cinderella, yeah. They opened for him, and I was surprised at how good they were live.
Like a midnight firefly, light on my way. Repeat our conversations, keep me sane. Step with caution when you go. Wildlife, fish eye, camera roll. Times that I would run around. Now I'm finding out. Oh yeah.
So number 10, LA Guns, Leopard Skin.
They had some basic technical skills, sure. I just didn't really like their music very much, and I didn't really like their presentation very much. And I'm kind of not really into the sleaze side of
the sleaze
hair
rock.
metal
Yeah,
so
that's
much myself. So
yeah, that's a thing. They were big into like the sleaze. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's really good album though.
My number 9 is one we also just talked about and was just published recently on the show. That is the Tron Ares soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails. Again, not my favorite Tron soundtrack, but a truly excellent release and a truly excellent soundtrack, even if it's not, maybe my favorite thing ever. It's been getting plenty of listens, and I think long term, say over the next decade, I'm really going to appreciate the music of this movie and the music of this soundtrack and this vinyl release itself. A fantastic purchase on my part for 2025, and I really do love that album. So,
good choice. My number 9, still sticking in the vein of the hair metal. The lead guitarist and founding member of Tesla, Frank Hannon, had an album out. Let me actually put him so he's not upside down. Had a new album out this year called Reflections. Sort of in the same vein as Tesla, very Tesla-ish rock. This also came with a signed insert, but at least this one you can read. So,
nice.
Tiffany, take note, silver.
Aww.
It shows up well.
Yeah.
Aw, poor Tiffany. I'm just giving Tiffany a hard time, but wow, that was a bad cover she did of her cover. So yeah, Frank Hannon, Reflection.
What do we need to know about it? Like, what does it sound like?
It's, if you like Tesla, you'll like it. It's just that blues type rock, straightforward rock blues influenced of Tesla. He writes a lot of the Tesla songs, so it makes sense. And this is an album of all originals that he wrote. So. really good. So if you're a fan of that type of music, just straightforward rock with a tinge of blues, you'll like the new Frank Hannon.
All right. I guess, which one is this now? 10, 9, 8 is one we really started off the year talking about, because this was a January, I believe maybe early February release. But yeah, I believe January is when I got this, all the way from France, with a little bit of a punch through as a result of the Atari Recharge soundtrack by Megan McDuffie, who is a really excellent soundtrack producer, and again, just a truly wonderful 2-disc set of music from the Recharge series of games that have been done over the past decade here, published by Atari. Really cool music. Really cool soundtrack, and I like it a lot because it's great background music.
Game soundtracks are good for that. I do that with game soundtracks a lot, especially when I'm like, just cleaning the house or doing whatever. I'll just throw like a game soundtrack of any type on, and like you said, it's good. It's just kind of like in the background, but every once in a while you stop and you're like, yeah, I like this. What are we at? Number 8?
Yep.
My number 8 is a newer band. I'm trying to think how I'm going to describe these guys. The name of the band is called Dead on a Sunday, and the album is called In Memorandum. It's on a gold vinyl as well. These guys are a rock/goth country band. They're really hard to explain, but they do a lot of covers. They do like original too. They do a couple killer Depeche Mode covers.
Okay.
But in like a goth, like a country goth style.
All right.
Yeah. And then their lead singer, every once in a while he's singing and he sounds like Peter Steele of Typo Negative a little bit. So it's like, it's pretty wild. So yeah, they're called Dead
It's
on
like,
a Sunday.
the country guy dating the goth lady going to prom.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. It's And
how country is it though? Like how
band.
country is it?
There's just shades of country in there. Like every once in a while you hear some like country guitar licks on like their original songs. But like when they do like their Depeche Mode covers and their other covers, it's a very just like goth rock. It's pretty awesome. That is another band that I found on TikTok. If you remember last week, I talked about a band I found on TikTok. They just kept showing up on my FYP, and I just kept like watching their videos, and then I went to their website, and I'm like, okay, I dig this stuff. I like this.
It's nice that you were able to bring that up, though, because that one is different from the albums we've talked about this year. We haven't seen it on the show before. And my number 7 is one that has not yet made an appearance on the show. This came out in October. This is from I guess you could call them post-rock jazz prog band out of Chicago called Tortoise.
Okay.
They make very kind of cerebral sounding music. Really excellent instrumental music that tinges into all those things I just stated. And they hadn't released an album in about 8 or 9 years until they came back to get this wonderful release called Touch. And I'm really excited to actually be able to play a clip from this one on the show because it just didn't really find an opportunity to get a feature here. But I love that it's at a U.S. release even, and it's got this little Obi strip. You can tell the kind of producers of records that these fine folks at None Such when Tortoise are involved. Just a wonderful instrumental album of music from a band that has earned a very strong reputation from those who know them. And if you don't know them and you're looking for, I think, particularly music to get your brain going, Tortoise is an excellent pick.
Well, I'm excited to hear them. My number 7 is a band that we have talked about on the show before, but not this particular album. And I am going to strategically put my hand up and censor this so we don't get in trouble by the YouTube gods. This is the new album from Cradle of Filth. It's called The Screaming of the Valkyries. Sorry about my hand there, but you can almost guess probably what's there that I'm not showing. Show the splatter. It's kind of a cool splatter vinyl. Cradle of Filth, like I said, we've talked about them on the show before. They're a black metal band. They've been around forever. That's their new album. Wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be, but it was still really, really good. It's a little more, which it sounds weird to say this, it's a little more commercial for a black metal album, if that makes any sense, if you kind of get what I'm saying with that. It's still good. Not quite classic Cradle of Filth, but if you like black metal, I'm sure you'll like it.
Can't say I'm a fan of Cradle of Filth. I'm sorry.
They're kind of an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Yeah, they're not. I played them for a couple of my friends, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're kind of a."
One of the neater records I
band.
just picked up here for Record Store Day, however, was a European press of Vader's Litany album, and that's kind of very well in that same sort of death metal vein. So.
Yeah,
I've got my own picks, I guess,
metal.
and it just doesn't happen to be Cradle of Filth. So
yeah, no, that's fine. Like I said, Cradle of Filth is very you either like them or you don't like them. There's no like in between with Cradle. They're one of those bands that just very polarizing, which is fine.
I remember us saying this when the episode came out, but they're going to be the kind of music that will never be mainstream. It cannot be mainstream.
Oh yeah, no. You're
not going to see that in like the greatest hits compilation of whatever decade.
Right, exactly.
Sure. So
exactly, yeah.
My number 6 pick is the Helldivers 2 soundtrack. Did not make it into my top 5. Almost squeaked into my top 5 because it really is a video game soundtrack for the ages. It's one of those that's going to get performed by orchestras 20 years from now. It's entered the litany of video game soundtrack. There was actually a 2024 release, however, as well. That's the other bit about it, is that the digital album was released in 2024. The very first physical press was in February of 2025. So while the first physical release counts, but the digital soundtrack existed earlier. And a neat looking
game too. That game is so hard though. Oh god, that game is hard. I need to actually play that game more.
I'm like level 62 in it.
Well, then you and I are gonna have to play then.
You have the Helldivers 2 soundtrack as well.
Yep, I do. Yep.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
I got it when it. I really like it. It's not what I would expect actually for the game. After playing the game, it's not the soundtrack I was expecting, but I think it's the best soundtrack for the game though. It fits the game really, really well.
Yeah.
And that vinyl press is really good too. It sounds excellent. It's a really good press. So, all right, my number 6 is another crossover. It's the Tron Ares soundtrack from Nine Inch Nails. Didn't make my top 5. Now that I think about it, I should have swapped this with one of mine in the top 5, but it's all right. I'm going to go with it. Nine Inch Nails, Tron, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. And it's on. I got to shout out this vinyl, though. This vinyl is so cool looking. I love the vinyl.
If we had the time for a section on top 5 coolest looking records we purchased in 2025, this one's certainly up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah, so there you go. And I know a lot of people, if you've watched the show for a while, a lot of people are going to be surprised. Nine Inch Nails didn't make my top 5. So I was kind of surprised at that too. But like I said, I kind of went back and forth.
There's nothing wrong with the soundtrack. It just
not at all.
It doesn't quite make it into the top 5. There was just too much other good music, really. But I think long term, I'm just going to really appreciate it as much as anything.
I agree.
Well, we're doing this then. So we're playing the full tracks here of our top 5 for those in the audience. Let's kick off our top 5 new music of 2025. This one is a first-time show on the Record Players podcast. Came out in August. UK press currently. There is no US press currently. However, you just order it from the band's website and they'll ship it to you from the UK with a little more shipping than perhaps you want to pay. But otherwise... Otherwise, you can get it just fine. And this is, I believe, something like the third album from the Nova Twins, and just a band that blew my mind in 2025 with some of their tracks. And this artistic statement in this album is just absolutely incredible. And I am so glad I was recommended it on YouTube because of the bass player of this band, which is this person, Georgia South, who is an absolute technical talent, the likes of which I have not heard in quite some time. And I believe, despite their relative age and status as a band at this point, has the potential to be spoken alongside names like, say, Bootsy Collins, Les Claypool, Flea, that caliber of talent, which is on display throughout this album of Parasites and Butterflies. And I'm just going to play a banger of a track. When you hear this, keep in mind there are two musicians, each of which have a floorboard full of pedals, making this stuff live, almost White Stripes style, while also mixing in all the other genres that they do. And some of the weirder bass guitar sounds that you're hearing have to do with a magnet ring that is brought down near the bass guitar pickups and thus warps the sound in a very unique way.
There's something in the water, open up the border. There's something in the water, really getting closer. A rebel and a soldier, we're not taking orders. There's something in the water, really getting colder. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype, another one down in paradise. Piranhas in the water, look me in the eyes. Are you terrified? Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype, another one down in paradise. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype. Are you terrified? There's something in the water, open up the border. There's something in the water, really getting closer. A rebel and a soldier, we're not taking orders. There's something in the water, really getting colder. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype, another one down in paradise. Piranhas in the water, look me in the eyes. Are you terrified? Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype, another one down in paradise. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype. Are you terrified? When the height in the hole, what the ladies tell us you will never walk alone. You wanna battle tonight, guess we get to go. Yeah, we get to go. Now you know. Shot the sheriff in the middle of the night. It could have been a cowboy, could have been his wife. Rock came along with a big appetite, and eye for an eye, should have slept with the lights on. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype, another one down in paradise. Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype. Are you terrified? Piranhas in the water, you're a prototype. Are you terrified?
You were mentioning off air here this album cover, and I agree. There's one thing in particular that I don't know if you picked up on the video while that was playing, while the song was playing, is that it's kind of reversible in that they're kind of looking the light side of themselves or looking into the dark side of themselves. But when you flip it around,
now I see that.
the dark side really are looking at you.
No.
And I just thought that
that's awesome.
is such a cool motif to have on their album cover. And the other bit I wanted to, where is this now? Yeah, here, also one of the coolest colors variants in my collection. It's got like this kind of aqua blue thing to it that looks nice and translucent, and I don't have one of those in my collection either. So just amazing music, amazing performances by these two, and kind of a weird mix of almost like AC/DC style hard rock meets real musicianship meets like White Stripe style kind of stripped down stuff with a little bit of kind of metalcore and frankly pop production a little as well. I have there's one track in particular that makes me feel this way, and I think it's the third or fourth track on the first side, but it almost makes me feel like they used Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC as a reference record. Not because of the way the album sounds, because it doesn't really sound like TLC at all, but the way the album sounds as a recording feels to me like that one was used as a reference record. And I'd love to know if I ever get the chance to meet the band. I think that might be my question for them, because I hear it so much when I'm listening to this album in terms of the production, which is excellent. And that's in part why I think about it.
Well, I'll have to think about that because I'm definitely going to think about picking that up for reasons we'll talk about later. So my number 5 is a band I've been wanting to talk about on the show for a while, but we haven't really done anything to where I could talk about them yet. But now I'm going to get to talk about this amazing band called Larkin Poe. This is a brand new album called Bloom. These are two sisters that do blues and southern rock. So if you like any of those two genres, you're going to love Larkin Poe. And it's on this yellow, very bright yellow. This came out in January of this year, so this was a brand new for this year release. Like I said, they are very blues and southern rock influenced. A lot of steel guitar, that type of thing. So if you know that, this album is a little less bluesy than their other stuff. They have a couple other albums that I absolutely love that are just straight blues.
Fantastic.
With a little bit of rock through it. But like I said, they are two sisters, super, super talented. Like they are just can play with any, like you name any guitarist, and I would put these two up against them easily, as you'll kind of see in the sample that we're going to play here.
Just enough talk to get the world shaking from east to west. Georgia does it the best. Me and my people came from the country. My country comes out when you tell me no. We got a whole lot to do and not a lot of time to do it all the way to the back. Screaming, go, go, go! What are you looking at? Little me, oh my, as a matter of fact, 'cause I'm cool whipping like it's Saturday night. Cool whipping, gonna push that light. Cool whipping, gonna kick that ass. We got
That was awesome. That rocked. Yeah, that's a real good track.
Uh,
I heard
yeah.
like some kind of, don't want to say that kind of hair metal era, hard rock era kind of composition to in terms of like the kind of chorus bridge verse type structure of it all as well.
Maybe a little.
And a little bit of I felt was like maybe late 90s to mid 2000s era, somewhat commercial country rock, the kind of stuff you might hear on country radio at that time. Yeah.
I could see some late 2000s country. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
good stuff. Though.
Like I said,
good.
They are just so good. They are so talented.
Mm-hmm.
So check them out, Larkin Poe.
All right, now this next one, I am guaranteed sure that you know, Drac. Probably we'll see where we end up on this one. That would be Spirit Box. Tsunami Sea. Not only is the album absolutely incredible and dense and full of information and full of things to kind of ponder and think about and figure out, but musically it's got pop commercial production mixed with really high technical quality metalcore, and someone who is not a debut at all to this style of singing, but through this album's success has debuted her voice to a much wider audience than existed previously. And that is the incredible, absolutely incredible vocal stylings of Courtney LaPlante. This one is called, first track on side B, A Haven Has Two Faces.
Oh, excellent song.
I wanted to call out this pressing itself, which is a Be the Change edition. The regular cover of Tsunami Sea is black on white. This is white on black. I believe the rest of the materials are the same, outside of hype sticker, which is hand numbered and what have you. But it comes with this absolutely incredible book of lyrics that's combined, and you saw some of that in the clip there, with just in really beautiful photography, to the point that it's really a little mini book that accompanies the album and gives you a big sense of some of the art and culture and everything that is being discussed in its subject matter. That's also in their videos, if you've seen their videos and things as well. Well, this is one where I actually kept the receipt for, because the Be the Change edition is 100% recycled. Inks and everything, paper and everything, and the vinyl record itself. And unlike some of the recycled vinyl efforts we've had in the past, at least this one sounds amazing to me.
That's what I was going to bring up. This is the first eco vinyl that actually sounds really, really good. Because you can remember, I've talked in the past, I've bought eco vinyls before, and they're just very noisy. But yeah, this one they did a great job with. So if I ever see another Be the Change something, I probably would pick it up without hesitation.
Well, I did finally, because we've got that new final Megadeth album coming out, and I did in fact pre-order the Be the Change edition of that, because that also seemed like a good one to get 100% recycled. I don't know if I'm going to love the final Megadeth album. I can't say I've purchased the albums leading up to it, so we'll see where I end up falling on it. But having that nice recycled package, and I know that environmental issues have often been one of Dave Mustaine's kind of subjects as well, so I bet Megadeth might appreciate this sort of effort. And let's see if this one sounds as good.
I actually didn't realize they had a Be the Change of the Megadeth.
Yeah, it's tricolor as well. We'll see. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. We are at number 4, another newer band called The Pretty Wild. Another set of sisters, actually, just like Larkin Poe are sisters. These two are sisters as well. This is on an amazing looking pressing as well. I love the splatter of that. They are getting so good at splatter vinyls.
That is one cool looking record, and it matches the cover just incredibly.
It does. That's why I went with this pressing. They had like 5 different choices on pressings of this. I ordered this straight from their website, and I was like, yeah, let's go with this one. Metalcore, just a metalcore band is the best way to describe them. This is a little different metalcore though, because the one sister does the harsh vocals, the other sister does the clean vocals. So it's a little different than how like with Spirit Box, like Courtney will do both sides. She'll do the harsh and clean. With this, you get kind of like the 2 voices, and their voices sound so good blended together too.
Tear off my skin, rip it all, feel the tension, I feel it, crawl down the lines in a single soul, split my duality's pull, an eternal course. Disassociating, slipping back into the void. Consciousness is fading, rationally paranoid. This weight I carry in this life and afterlife, empires buried under cryptic sands of time, and I lost myself to finally find in death we live, through life we die, caught in a paradox, caught in a paradox, caught in a paradox. In the chaos I find peace, on emptiness I feed. Insecurities flooding my brain, normalizing, feeding the pain. Inherited trauma to my DNA, and I'm taking advice from the demon in me. Suffocating the ways that I perceive. Hate what I love and I love what I hate. Beginning to drain my ethereal energy. You go the past, burn away, just let my body decay. Closer to the light, I black out. Don't look until I gain, I crash out. Crash out. This weight I carry in this life and afterlife, empires buried under cryptic sands of time, and I lost myself to find
Yeah, so I got to see the Pretty Wild sort of live in August. The problem is it was one of those early weekday shows. The ticket said 7. We got there assuming it meant doors, but no. First band got on at 7, and that was the Pretty Wild. However, we were there kind of checking in line and going through the ticketing process and getting into the club and all that as they were playing. And so I got to hear them pretty good. I just didn't really get to see them until after the show, where the two of them really just hung out at their merch booth for the rest of the evening.
That's
and
amazing.
Just chatted up with some fans, and you could purchase whatever merch they had. Sadly, they did not have any vinyl records there. But the funny part, and the other reason I'm bringing this up is I had a brief conversation with one of them who was looking at a catalog, and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry that you don't have any vinyl with you. I would have loved to have purchased some and what have you.
Right.
She says, well, which ones of these do you like? And because they were trying to figure out what variants in that. So I got to see what a band sees when they get to pick their vinyl catalog. And that was a highlight of the concert, honestly. That was one of the highlights of that concert. In this moment was a bigger highlight, but even so, this was awesome. How often do you get that opportunity? And the funny thing is at one point, and I just assumed she was just making small talk with whoever came up, but she was just like, well, which ones do you like? And I said, well, I really like this one and this one. And guess which ones got picked? They it was like 10 days later, those 2 exact pressings got picked.
No.
And I was just like, well, was she just crowdsourcing the votes? Was it, how much influence could I possibly have had on that? Or was it just one of those things where it's like, what do I know? If this person is a nerd enough to talk about the vinyl, let's go with it.
Right.
Is it possible? Is it possible
awesome.
I helped pick their color of vinyl?
We're gonna go with it. We're sticking with that story. That is our story, and we're sticking with it.
Yeah.
You picked the variant.
I bought one of their T-shirts, however, just to support the band, and they sounded great. And from what I've seen in their videos and that afterwards, they also have sort of a theatrical stage presence as well.
Very much so. Oh yeah.
Both one or both of them is also quite acrobatic. Like, I think has some experience perhaps in more bigger style theater of some kind. So I can't say I know the history, but you can kind of see it on stage and in their work.
Yeah, especially in their videos too. If you ever watch any, just if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, just go on YouTube and watch all of their videos. It's some of their videos are like mini movies that are just amazing. Just like the story that they wrap into the song for the video.
I think they're from Las Vegas, which also leads me to wonder if maybe they don't have some kind of performer, casino style performance background at all. So you got to earn those bucks somehow. Possible. Maybe there's a way they can do
exactly.
It, right? All right, my number 3 is my only pick that is not on vinyl, and that is because it has not yet been released on vinyl. This is the latest and hopefully not, but perhaps final album from Foxtails Brigade, one of my absolute favorite bands of all time. They're a fairly small indie pop band out of San Francisco, California, who have released a number of albums over the past 15 years, all of which are uniformly excellent. Their album before this, which was around 2016, and it was just a self-titled Foxtails Brigade, is one of the top 20 records in my collection. They do this sort of dreamy indie gothic pop. The singer also plays classical guitar and in fact teaches classical guitar. So they've got chops, and the band just has a sound, a feel, a depth of lyrical content and everything else that is so far beyond so much of the rest of my collection. And I'm absolutely in love with this band. I wish the whole world could hear them and enjoy this music as much as I did, but nonetheless, my number 3 pick, Foxtails Brigade, the Red Album, and we're going to play a song called Slave.
Behind the wall of every fantasy,
Foxtails Brigade, their self-titled album was absolutely a dream. This is a much shorter album and got released in April of this year. The only thing about Foxtails Brigade, though, is they're just not very big, and so I don't know that they've got the funds to make vinyl for this one. But on their Facebook back in April, they said they were going to make a vinyl record of this, and I really hope they do, because I will absolutely be there to jump on it the moment it's available. But for now, their CD sounds great. It is a very short album as well. The other piece to know is that two of the band members happen to be in a relationship together, and the singer just had her second child right around the time of the release of this album. So I think they might just be fairly busy in real life, as it were.
Right.
But a absolutely fantastic band that if you haven't heard, and you probably haven't, you really should check out Foxtails Brigade. I got lucky and heard of them back in 2014 from an IGN podcast. One of their old
Really?
IGN people was like, this album rules. And I was like, all right, well, let me check it out. And I was like, this album does rule. And so I've been a fan of Foxtails Brigade ever since, and on that train, and absolutely love this album. One of my absolute favorite albums of 2025.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I heard of that. I'm going to have to look them up and hear some more. All right, so my number 3, going to shift gears a little bit. I've been doing a lot of the same type of music for my list so far. I'm going to go new metal. Yes, new metal. Who in the world came out with a new metal album in 2025? That would be the one and only Deftones. The Deftones had their first album out in, I think, like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. It's called Private Music. It's on, seems like This Color Gold was like the big variant this year. I don't know if the vinyl pellets were easy to get for this color, but I noticed a lot of bands did.
Yeah, I did see that quite a bit. I don't think I know of any.
Yeah.
I don't happen to have any, I don't think.
But yeah, it's called Deftones Private Music. This harkens back to, if you're familiar with the Deftones, they made one of my favorite new metal albums ever called White Pony. This harkens back a lot to the White Pony era. Their last couple albums, they kind of took a little curve, and they went a little more like dancey type pop music. This is back to like the White Pony era. So if you're familiar with Deftones, the song we're going to play is called My Mind is a Mountain. So check it out. Brand new Deftones.
I just wanted to say that I actually have an original CD of White Pony that I picked up at a Best Buy whenever it first came out. It's just sort of stashed somewhere in my collection back there. I'm not a huge Deftones fan, but I certainly appreciate that album, and that clip you just played sounded great. So,
Around the Fur and White Pony are my two favorite albums of the 90s, hands down.
Now, what do you think about 2025 was a huge year in music, not just for like young bands, but old bands and older bands. I mean, the whole spectrum of age and everything was giant in 2025. Bands that had been long gone came back with powerful albums and a lot of new music and younger music and all that as well. What was your 2025 year of music like?
My 2025 year of music was just kind of mainly like more like in the 2020s, like 2020 to 2025, like some 2025 albums, but not many.
A lot of video game stuff. And you were on our show earlier this year. If you haven't seen it yet, it was a really good show of our top video game soundtracks. And you really kind of continued listening to a lot of video game stuff in 2025.
Yep.
So we're going to play a track. Tell me a little bit about what it is we're playing here.
We're playing the A19 Brawler. It's a new song that actually came out from the people that did Nuclear Option, which I think I did on this show.
So, what do you like about the Nuclear Option soundtrack?
It's just like really kind of different, like per vehicle, because like this is one of the most recent vehicles in the game. They like just released it, and it, as you can tell, it's based off the A10 Warthog.
All right, we are going into number 2 here. My number 2, bit of a controversial pick. My number 2,
Oh no.
Bloodywood, New Delhi, number 2 album of new music of 2025. Absolutely one of my favorite albums that I have heard in the past 25 years. The song New Delhi is absolutely amazing, but that's not all. Basically, every single track on it is amazing. This is really about the year of Bloodywood. They had one album before this that got a moderately wide release, but they blew up on YouTube thanks to the viral just stank face that is the song New Delhi. But we've already played that song, I believe, 3 times on the show. So instead, we are going to play Tatka, which is a song described by the band, including the band live when I saw them this summer, which was absolutely amazing. They were one of the most phenomenal bands I've seen in a long time. This song is about the quest for perfect flavor.
And we're hitting like the pot. Everybody welcome, you can come and pick a spot, cause the guests of the house get the best that we got. Nana always said if you wanna make it big, you better be fully fed, so I did. Then I went and got bigger, thanks to the cooking of a mother and a mother figure. Got me thinking about all of the people that be pulling the trigger, cause they don't even know if they be eating for dinner. And I'm like, yeah, it's like I got to care. And the food's so good, man, I got to share. We're gonna win it even though we didn't plan this. Put your hands up if you really understand this. If you got the fire inside the belly, then we're gonna fan this.
I absolutely love Bloodywood. I think Bloodywood has the potential to unite the entire world. I think if there's any band that could write a song that's going to unite the world, Bloodywood might well be able to do it. I think this album is incredible. I think it's instantly one of my favorite, probably, without a question, my favorite nu metal album of all time, even though it's really kind of a nu metal throwback rather than an original. It just so much speaks to me more than any other nu metal album that I think has ever been released. The fact that it's finally happened in terms of just the blend of music on a big stage like this, the band is fantastic. I saw them live. It was the best concert of the year by far. They were so good live. And I get to see them again in May. Headlining show this time. I bought the VIP ticket. I'm going to get to meet and greet them. Probably just be a quick picture and such, but I don't care. It's going to be awesome. First crack at their merch booth. I mean, it was a miracle. They showed up and just changed my life. This band changed my life this year.
Color me surprised. I swore this was going to be your number one. When we talked about doing this, I'm like, I know what his number one's going to be. And when you pulled this out at number two,
yeah,
I was just like,
what is going to be your number one?
It was super tough because, really the thing is, and we talked a little bit about this between tracks here, is my whole number 5 went back and forth. And this one certainly was up at number 1 for a long time, but really when it came down to it, I just had to put one other album as the best new music of 2025, and I'll get to that in just a second. But what else should we say about Bloodywood? You don't have this album yet. Why not?
I do not. Because for a while it was hard to get, but I think now it's a little more available. So I will definitely rectify this in the new year. I will pick this album up.
I got a limited to 300 copy. There's multiple, but this one's limited to 300, this nice blue, and it's fantastic. Absolutely wonderful sounding album. This is the year where every concert on that tour they went with Baby Metal, they made thousands of new fans, and you could just see it happen from May throughout the year, them just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. How big are they going to get? We'll see. But nonetheless, absolute must-own album of 2025. If you like any kind of metal at all, or if you just like messaging that you've maybe not heard before that's positive and uplifting, but also critical and everything. This album is just about everything, basically. And it's fantastic. And it even has one of the most badass album covers of the year as well.
I love that cover. Yeah, that cover's pretty freaking amazing.
They said in their YouTube, they were like, as soon as someone said, we should name the album New Delhi, like nu metal, they were like, perfect. No question. There was no discussion whatsoever once someone came up with that idea. I didn't even think about that. It's such a good name for an album. It's so perfect.
Well, number 2 is a band just talked about last week, actually. It's a brand new band I just found, and I am obsessed with them. I will admit that. It's Magdalene Rose. The album is The Heart That Bloomed After Death. On the last episode, as I explained, think about Paramore meeting Spirit Box, and that pretty much, and then it's on this amazing little like bloody type vinyl. But yeah, the best way I can describe them is Paramore and Spirit Box mixed together, and that's pretty much what you get with some technical guitar playing too. Like there is some really, really good guitar playing and drumming on this album as well too. Much less not just, I don't want to take away from Magdalene Rose's voice because her voice is amazing, but their musicianship on this album is amazing as well. And you're going to hear that in the song we're going to play. It's called Can You Fix Me?
Another pill just to calm me down. An animal going rapid disease. I've tried them all, but I'm still the same. Nothing's working.
change. Wish there was no change. Necessity me.
Feels like eternity, waiting for something to take me away from all this suffering. God, will you fix me? I'm too anything. Eternity, waiting for something to take me away from all of this suffering. God, will you fix me? I'm too anything to break free. Can't keep my head above the water anymore. Do anything to find my way back to the shore. Breathe into my soul, I give you control. 'Cause I'll do anything to break free.
A hollow shell of who I was. Necessitate, necessitate.
Magdalene Rose actually, or someone from the band, or someone actually was able to comment on one of our posts just within the past couple of weeks on Facebook, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah, it was. That was awesome. I was excited to see that, and I really check them out. Just go to their YouTube, go to their Facebook, their TikTok. That, like I said last week when I was talking about them, I found them on TikTok. Actually, is how I discovered them. So I'm glad I kind of showed up in my FYP, and I'm like, okay, I dig this. And then I kind of dug more into them, and I'm like, I really dig
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of re-entering some of the new metal and death metal scene from this podcast and just from other things happening in my life. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can't really recall much blending of pop punk and kind of metalcore.
No, yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think if there's another example of like a metalcore pop punk combo, and I can't think of one.
And they do it really well.
If somebody, comment. Yeah, they do. And like I said, it's not just her voice. It's like it's a very technical guitar playing too. You could kind of hear it on that song, but there's a couple other songs in this album where it's a very, very technical, precise guitar playing. And what I was just like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So yeah, check them out. Magdalene Rose.
Well, we have hit it. We are going to do our number ones here. Before I get to mine, we did play it earlier, and I believe we may have mentioned it, but why don't we talk about your number one?
So
here?
my number one would have been Held Everest 2, except I was on with my friends, but hey, I'm here now. So yeah, it would have been Held Everest 2, great game, love it. But
and we did play it, and the full track of the when you're trying to escape from chaos at the end of a mission, that's what's playing.
Mm-hmm. I really like the soundtrack. It's really good. But now...
All right, well, now let's get to my number one here. My number one is, in my opinion, not just my favorite album of 2025, but also the album that is the most 2025, and that is Public Enemy, Black Sky Over the Projects, Apartment 2025. I have been a Public Enemy fan since I first heard Yo Bum Rush the Show on cassette sometime in the late 1980s. And in my personal opinion, although I have not heard many of the Public Enemy albums of the past 10 years, there is not one bad song on this entire album, which is different from even the best classic Public Enemy albums, in my humble opinion. They all have great highs and a few lows. This is all great highs, and Flava Flav is amazing in it. Chuck D is amazing in it. The fact that they're in their something like mid-60s at this point and still putting out music this vital and raw and still in your face and so incredibly good, when so many bands at this point are kind of just cashing it in and making maybe lesser music, less ambitious music. This is super ambitious.
Right.
This basically takes what is going on in the United States of America in 2025, which was a couple of things. and just delivers the strongest Public Enemy performance I have seen in at least 20 years. We're going to play a song here that is called Fools, Fool, Fools.
There's more important things in the world to talk about, like homelessness, why some motherfuckers are getting richer and the rest of the world is getting poorer. Hey, look around you. Come on, it has found you. God ain't on your side this time.
Thought it didn't count. Now the symphony of chaos singing sounds of doom and doubt. Hell is near, the writing on the wall is clear. Public opinion, boiled in the year of fear. The dreamers, the fighters, the bold from the ashes. Just us, look out, as the wall crashes. The youth, the future, the echo, the cries. Time is now woke up, realize the rise. The wise operator teaching from the third eye. Policy is poison, Bibles pointed to the sky. Why cities drowning, forests burning up the skies. Global climate shifted, ain't nobody believe those guys?
Hey, look around you. Come on, it has found you. God ain't on your side this time.
Those that don't know, don't they always be talking? Those that always talking seem to really never know. Fools, fools, kill that auto-tune. Jigga told y'all years ago, there ain't enough room, yo. Nature yelling loud, speaking loud and raging cries. History repeats in the ignorance of time. January, wake, woke, 2025. Survive, reimagine, struggle as the ages rewind. Fools spinning webs of deceit in a game of power. Who not feeling that heat? Bang them drums so their mama could come and get some. Set the world on fire and then run.
Hey, look around you. Come on, it has found you. God ain't on your side this time.
Send a message to him. Yo, what up, fool?
This masquerade parade spinning in a web of charades. This game of power got the blood coming down in the shower. Fools lying behind the lights. Used to be 5 mics. The lion changed the rules. Truth be told, they're killing life like black mold. So the young can never get old. It's dangerous to behold. So-called land of liberty, watch democracy shake. As the world turns and as the earth quakes. Dreams reborn in the ashes of deceit. Harmonies found on his bomb-ass beat. Fools, fools, and the wise will rise. Locally, the globally, righteousness survives.
Tell me, America, where did you go? Why is hate the only thing you know?
It was so tough to pick between Bloodywood and Public Enemy, but ultimately the fact that it's, I think, the best Public Enemy album I've ever heard, and I've been a fan of theirs for 35 years now, is the reason. It is so clearly my number one. And also, can you believe Public Enemy is back with such an amazing album in 2025?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I completely forgot about that album. That would have been in my top 5 as well. It totally escaped my mind that even came out this year.
It at least seems to have been slightly successful. They started with the 72-hour pay what you want, so a whole bunch of mega fans got it for free. People like myself even picked up the Kit album, which you can find out all sorts of stuff about the Kit album elsewhere on a different video if you want to.
Yeah, we
right
made
on
a
this
video
channel.
about that, and I was there.
But the fact that they also were on the cutting edge of just kind of trying new media and things like that. The digital album came out in June. The record came out in October, and what a record it is. Absolutely incredible. Trey Cool, by the way, was the one doing live drums on that track from Green Day. And there's a couple other guests. And some other real heavy guitar and bass and live instrumentation throughout. The production by everyone is just so good.
That is a very good. Like, if you like Public Enemy at all, definitely check that album out for sure.
The final thing I was going to say is I don't know enough about basketball to even tell you what this is, but they've been using a track from it on Amazon Prime for all their NBA playoff, final, whatever, advertising. There's like 30 seconds of one of the tracks here that keeps getting played every time I'm listening to Amazon Prime and getting advertising. And it's some kind of NBA ad that they're pulling a track from. I think it's Come On, Get Down. Or maybe, no, the hits just keep on coming. That's what it is. They're pulling the first 20, 30 seconds from the hits that keep on, or just keep on coming. And so they must be making some bank from that, and that's pretty cool.
Well, I would hope so. Exactly.
Good for basketball.
Exactly. And Public Enemy.
All right.
I guess it's my turn for my number one. Everybody knows what it is. Anybody that watches the show knows what it is. It's Spirit Box Tsunami Sea. I have the eco version as well. But wait. As we've talked about on the show before, I have a problem with buying multiple variants of albums because why would I not? I have 2 different versions because, I have to get the cool zebra splatter, right? I mean, you got to have the zebra
really
splatter.
Oh, that does look really good, though. That looks way better.
And then you have to have the reverse ink spot zebra splatter. I mean, they're totally different, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Which one of those is the liquid, or is that yet another one?
That is another one. That is the one that has the liquid cover, which I should have grabbed that too. That we showed that.
We had a chat about liquid records and such, but yeah.
This one is the one that has the liquid cover, which the cover is in a totally different room, totally away from the vinyl. We talked about that because there's no way anything liquid is getting in there. Not yet. It's all good.
I saw some TikToks and such about people's dried out liquid vinyl records and things. Some examples of leaks. It started to show. It's starting to happen, people. Watch your liquid-filled vinyl.
Just saw YouTube today of somebody showed their Bon Jovi liquid vinyl that is like just leaking everywhere. And I'm like, yep, that's why you don't buy liquid vinyl.
Yeah. I do think if you keep it in good shape and if you're real careful, it's fine to get liquid vinyl. I think I've come around a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll never buy one. I can tell you that much.
Right. I don't think I ever would either.
Yeah.
You won't buy one even if Bloody Wood made one?
Well, yeah, maybe I'll buy the Bloody Wood one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So yeah, I don't know what else we need to say about Spirit Box. Like, just Courtney LaPlante, her husband Mike is the guitarist. He is such an amazing guitarist and so technical. Just Spirit Box is awesome. We're gonna play Soft Spine.
I agree. We have actually probably spoken about Spirit Box's Tsunami Sea more than any other album on the Record Players podcast in
think so.
2025, but that's fine because it's your number one. It was my number 4, and it's an amazing album. The only reason it's my number 4 is because of just how much amazing music came out. But it's the album that opened my ears to a whole bunch of kind of new metal music that was happening in the world around me today. And I find it particularly interesting how it manages to retain its integrity while also leaning fairly heavily into pop stylings and pop production at points.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just think that that's a really cool aspect of it as well. I also think it reminds me of Neuromancer in the way that it tends to be very complex and there's layers going on, not just musically, but lyrically, and then the flow of the songs and everything. It's just everything is very, very carefully considered, and the incredible lush production of it as well is just puts it over the top. So, if it's your number 1 and my number 4, I think we are going to call Spirit Box the 2025 Record Players Podcast Album of the Year, Your Did It Award. And we're going to give them the Your Did It Award. Congratulations, Spirit Box. I'm sure it's better than a Grammy.
Of course it is. Now we need to get Courtney LaPlante on the show to accept the award. Courtney, if you're listening,
I will be seeing. Here's the bit I thought we'd talk. Did you get tickets?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you got tickets too. We are both going to be seeing in separate locations Spirit Box this summer, opening up for Evanescence, who is back kind of on a, I don't know quite. They're releasing an album this year in 2026, or at least recording one, maybe?
Yes, they are.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out. Amy Lee has kind of hinted that it's going to come out this year, but yeah.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a year of Evanescence really kind of making a push, supported by Spirit Box, supported by Nova Twins. And Joof and I are going to be going to see it over in Massachusetts at one of the big Xfinity Center mega arenas. But I happened to get within the first 2 rows of non-VIP seating. You know, because that kind of show, you're paying $500 for VIP if you want to be anywhere within, you know, 2 to 500 feet of the stage or whatever. But I was able to jump on a pre-sale and get right first available at the next price point and do it that. So I think we're going to have pretty good seats to see Nova Twins, Spirit Box, and Evanescence. And having 2 of my top 5 that I'm going to be seeing, and then Bloodywood as well in a different concert, is just going to make for an amazing, amazing show.
And yeah, it's kind of funny you said that, because my tickets for that Evanescence Spirit Box 2 are about the same section. I'm not quite to the VIP, but I'm just like right behind it. And they have like the price difference between those two. Well, I was like, yeah, no, I love Amy Lee and Courtney LaPlante, but not that much. Yeah. I'm like, no, sir, am I paying that much? So yeah.
It was an amazing year of music and an amazing year of vinyl records and vinyl record collecting and CDs too. I think we're starting to see, at least bubbling in certain pockets, a big resurgence in CDs among, like, say, Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
The local record stores have just been reporting last 4 to 6 months because it's cheap, unlike vinyl. A lot of kids are still enjoying the physical media on CD instead. So we're seeing the craziness continue all the way into the new year.
The one thing is, I'm pretty sure it's less of Gen A and more Gen Z, because we're much older.
Yeah, they have the kind of job income.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Record Players Podcast. We're not normally live, but this seemed like as good a time as any to celebrate 2025 at the end of 2025. It's now January 1st, somewhere off the east coast of Massachusetts, and we got about another 53 minutes before it hits my neck of the woods here. But thank you so much. In this podcast itself for the past year and a few months has just been growing as well. Our success on YouTube Shorts this year has been really neat to watch. Wasn't quite sure if we were going to get all that many views, and you know, there's a lot of bigger shows than ours, but we're off to a pretty cool start here for our first year, and that's in large part to all of you being here watching and listening. So thanks so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much. Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Drac?
No, I want to go listen to the Spirit Box album again now.
Actually,
Ringing the new year with Spirit Box.
Indeed. That sounds good. I'll do that too. What's your final thoughts
There
here?
There's a kid, we have a kitty upstairs and it's meowing.
We do. I have a cat to
I can
take
just
care
hear
of.
it.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching live, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Have fun.